Hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm Ashley of Naath, and today I'm presenting the first of a two-part video in which I'll explore whether or not we'll see two characters again who, in my opinion, got way too clean of exits that left some pretty big plot holes in the story. So if you're interested in my take on possible Season 8 returns for Daario Naharis and Jaqen H'ghar, just keep watching. Let's start with the captain of the Second Sons, Daario Naharis. When last seen, Daario got dumped by Daenerys in Season 6, Episode 10. Dany is preparing to leave Meereen to sail for Westeros and wants to leave Daario behind because she may need to form an alliance with marriage, and having her side piece around would only complicate things. Dany wants him to remain in Meereen with the Second Sons to keep the peace until the Meereenese choose their new leader. Daario's response to this command: fuck Meereen. Even though he and Dany part ways with the understanding that he will stay behind, based off that response and Daario's nature as a character, I ask you guys, does anyone really believe that Daario will stay in Meereen? I know I don't. Now, in order to figure out the context for Daario's possible return, I think we should examine the dialogue in that Dear John scene. As I've already stated, Daenerys explains to Daario that she can't bring a lover to Westeros because she may need to marry to form an alliance. Daario responds that he's not proud, he doesn't care who sits next to Dany in the throne room. He doesn't want a crown, he only wants her. Daario says he loves Dany and he begs her to let him go to Westeros and fight for her. Dany tells Daario that she can't, and putting two and two together, Daario realizes that this was Tyrion's idea, and it was a clever one. Dany tells Daario not to be mad, and Daario says that he's not, that he's full of self-pity. Then Daario asks, who could come after you? Who could ever follow Daenerys Stormborn, mother of dragons? Dany answers, a great many women, I suppose. And resigned to the reality, Daario says he knows she'll get the throne she wants so badly and that he hopes it makes her happy, all while staring right at her tits. Daenerys bids Daario farewell. Daario takes a bow and then leaves the room. Now, for a character that got as much airtime as Daario, that's too clean of an out for me. So, in my unwillingness to accept this, I do see a few clues, albeit small ones, about how Daario could come back. The first thing that popped out to me was this: who could ever follow Daenerys Stormborn? A great many women, I suppose. This makes me think that if Daario did return, we would see him on the arm of another woman. Who better to follow Daenerys Stormborn than Daenerys Stormborn's rival, Cersei Lannister? If Daario was scorned enough, this makes perfect sense. I mean, what better way to get back at your ex than to go out with your ex's worst enemy? Especially if said enemy is the sister of the man who convinced your ex to dump you. Daario did say he wasn't in this for a crown, so why should that change if he were with Cersei? Also, this works because we know Cersei has no problem taking on a mistress. Also, something that didn't translate in the show is that while in the House of the Undying, Daenerys was told she would get betrayed 3 times. And in the books, Dany has an ally who betrayed her by defecting to her enemy's side during the Siege of Meereen. I could easily see that plot being remixed in the show by having Daario defect to Cersei's side in Dany's conquest, as opposed to Brown Ben Plum defecting to Yunai's side in the siege. Oh, and did I mention that Brown Ben Plum's role in the books is the captain of the Second Sons, just like Daario is in the show? Now that we know the who and the why, we should ask ourselves how. How would Daario link up with Cersei? How likely is it for this to occur? One obvious way is Daario takes the Second Sons to Cersei out of scorn and hatred, unsolicited. The other possibility is that Cersei seeks out the Second Sons in her effort to strengthen her military. How likely are either of these things to happen? Well, the Second Sons are a sellsword company, meaning they go where they are paid. So I don't think they'd migrate all the way to Westeros unsolicited with no promise of getting paid. Also, Daario as the captain would have to pay for their transportation, and I'm not sure he could cash that check. So I have to say I find it unlikely that Daario would go to Cersei on his own. However, if Cersei sought them out and foot the bill, the odds of Daario reappearing with her increased dramatically. In Season 7, Cersei was crushed militarily by Daenerys. She tells Jaime that their next option is to hire mercenaries, which she can pay with the Tyrell gold and the Iron Bank loans. Cersei knows they can't stand against the Dothraki, as Jaime informs her no army he's seen could do that. But Cersei also acknowledges they have no options left. So I think in desperation, Cersei may reach out to the Second Sons in addition to the Golden Company. Now, it's certainly possible the show could pull a fast one and have Daario mixed in with the Golden Company already, especially since in the books, the Golden Company is led by two known and very significant characters that weren't brought into the show. So giving their plot to Daario, whom we do know as viewers, would be right up the show's alley. Just ask Sansa and Yara how they got their plots in Season 6. Honestly, I don't see how the show introduces the Golden Company without Daario. It's too late to introduce Jon Cunnington or Aegon, and without a character we know, why would we care about them? They can't defeat the Dothraki, they can't defeat the Unsullied. The only way for the Golden Company to be relevant is if their leader was Daario. This would also put him at odds with Daenerys in a very unexpected way. Assuming Daario did return with the Golden Company, we'd have to decide. Would he completely defect and fight a losing battle for Cersei, or will he end up like Ser Jorah and fight for Dany out of love and betray Cersei? He did beg for the chance to continue fighting for Dany, and based off what we know of Daario has no problem doing what the hell Daario wants to do. In any case, this would be an intriguing story to see play out either way. The second thing that stuck out to me was Daario's proclamation of love for Daenerys. This is much less glamorous, but if Daario truly loved her, it's entirely possible that he'll just show up out of nowhere and save Daenerys when all hope appears lost. But now that Daenerys has feelings for Jon, that gesture would ring hollow, I think, and the time for it would have been before the Targaryen family reunion. So if I had to bet money, I'd say it's more likely that Daario will make his return with the Golden Company if he were to return in Season 8. And this, folks, is where I leave you. In the next installment, I will cover my thoughts on a possible Jaqen H'ghar return, in addition to giving my predictions on which character, Jaqen H'ghar or Daario Naharis, I think is more likely to return in Season 8. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Ashley of Naath. If you did like this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and join my khalasar. Jim Young and Cameo, Blood of My Blood, thank you for all the support lately and always being awesome. To everyone watching, I hope you all have a great day, and from me to you, 7 blessings, friends.